Good morning. My name is Dr. Bobby Gearing, and this is going to be my first publication here on my YouTube channel and on gearingpediatrics.com. For those of you that do not know me, I am a general pediatrician. No one is paying me to give this talk today, but I do think it is time and it's a very important topic, such as other topics. I am a general pediatrician by trade. Most of the topics I will be discussing will be on pediatrics. I'll be giving a little podcast at least twice a week. But today I do want to discuss COVID immunization or COVID vaccination. This is a very hot topic currently, given the current climate here in the United States, and especially important for people of color, as there's a lot of skepticism given the historical significance and the mistreatment of African Americans specifically by medical institutions. But this is different. As you know, we have lost hundreds of thousands of lives due to coronavirus, affecting our black and brown people disproportionately compared to other races and ethnicities. So I felt that it was appropriate for me to speak upon this as an African American physician, just to give general information about immunizations. Some African Americans, again, are skeptical of information they read online, they hear from news sources, or they hear from other individuals. But I really truly encourage you to do adequate research, and that starts with speaking to a physician, someone that you trust, someone that does not have any secondary gain by giving you the immunization or the vaccination. So I did receive my COVID immunization 2 days ago on Tuesday, right in my left upper arm. Initially, no pain, no side effects. Later on that evening, started to feel a little soreness, similar in my left arm specifically at the injection site, similar to the soreness you would feel after any immunization. It is intramuscular, so it is going directly into the muscle itself. Yesterday, I considered day one of the immunization, and then the arm stiffness just continued to be there. No fever, no chills, no fatigue, no muscle aches. And today, day two of the immunization, so far again, just still have that soreness in the left arm, but no additional side effects reported. There's no rashes, no weakness, again, no muscle aches. Again, and I am not being endorsed by any company to give you this information. Specifically, I did receive the Moderna immunization, so I will have to go back in 4 weeks for the booster. And I know we've all heard various PowerPoints presentations, so I'm not going to overwhelm you or overburden you today, but just to give you some background information on the COVID vaccine, at least information that what we know to be true so far. It is an mRNA vaccine. So what happens is that once you're immunized, it gives the body instructions on how to make a harmless piece of what we call a spike protein. This protein is found on the surface of COVID-19 virus. The vaccine does not give you the live virus. So is there any chance of you getting COVID-19 from the immunization? No. We are not giving you the live vaccination. I want to make that 100% clear. That's often a myth, is that, every time I get a shot, I get the illness. That's really your immune system revving up and preparing just in case you are exposed to what the vaccine is trying to protect you against. Again, just some data. It is given in the upper arm, not in the buttocks, not in the thighs. And then it does give you the mRNA, the instructions. These instructions go inside your infection fighting cells or immune cells that make that protein piece. After that protein piece is made, our body destroys those instructions and gets rid of them. So it will not continue to make this spike protein or this protein piece. After you're immunized, the cell, your immune or infection fighting cells, displays this protein piece on the surface. Our immune system, very smart, very intelligent, it recognizes that this protein piece doesn't belong there. And then our body begins to make antibodies. This is what happens in natural infection against COVID-19. Antibodies are proteins that help you fight off an infection if you were exposed to. During this time, when our body recognizes that this protein doesn't belong there, when it makes antibodies, this is the time you may feel some signs and symptoms, such as feeling some muscle aches, some fatigue. This is not you getting COVID-19 infection. This is your body preparing for war, preparing just in case you come exposed to it or in contact with COVID-19. Your body knows what to do because you have been given that messenger RNA to make that spike protein. And at the end of the process, our bodies are very smart. We now learn how to protect against future infections because we have gotten the instructions that mRNA and we have that spike proteins are on our immune cells. So in case we're ever exposed to COVID-19, our bodies, hey, we've seen this before. Given that mRNA, we know how to fight against it. And that is the whole pathophys regarding COVID immunizations. Now, just some facts about COVID-19 vaccine, because again, you're going to hear so many different things online regarding the immunization. I'm going to want to emphasize this. You will not, I repeat, you will not get COVID-19 from the immunizations. It does not contain the live virus that causes COVID-19. It will not affect your DNA in any way. It will not alter your DNA in any way. It does not go to the brain of the cell, which is the nucleus where the DNA material is kept. And again, I can't emphasize enough, once your body gets these instructions from the mRNA and how to make this spike protein, it destroys the instruction. So it doesn't continue to make the spike protein. Safety. Now, I know this is a huge concern. The vaccination is new. We don't know the long-term side effects of it. I want to make sure enough people get it. Then I may get it. I hear all these different reasons on why not to give it. I can assure you that from the data that I have read, this vaccine is 100% safe. Majority of adverse reactions for immunizations take place within the first 60 days, typically within the first 7 days. This vaccine has been tried in thousands of individuals, which they have monitored longer than 60 days. Now, do we know any side effects that would take place 2, 3, 4 years down the road? We don't have that data, but we know that majority of side effects from immunizations take place within the first 60 days. The risk of getting anything long-term from this immunization is very, very minimal. Again, I would not take the immunization if I thought it was unsafe in any way. I would not recommend the immunization if I thought it was unsafe in any way. I have attached a link to look at all the safety procedures, precautions, every immunization is brought through. So please feel free to read that at your leisure. And another question I commonly get is, was this vaccine even tried in African Americans or individuals of color? And absolutely it was. That might not have been the case in the past historically, but this immunization was absolutely tried on African Americans, on my Latinx individuals, and under other individuals of color. Now, again, I do have the data for the Moderna vaccine. This is the vaccine that I did receive. And during their clinical trials, 80% were Caucasian, which is a little bit over representation of what they are in the population. We do have 20% Hispanic or Latino, which is a little bit, again, over representation of what we have in the population. African Americans, as you see, is just under 10% of the individuals in the clinical trial. And African Americans represent roughly 13% of the population. So although it's not exactly representative, there are a great chunk of African Americans that were in this clinical trial. So we know it does work just the same in African Americans, in Hispanics, as it does in Caucasians, as it does in Asian individuals. Majority of them were male, and then you see that there was about a quarter of them that were 65 and older. So I just want to present the data for you to see that, to inform you that yes, there were African Americans and minorities used in the clinical trial of the Moderna COVID-19 immunization. I just attached some references. This is not coming from me. This is not something I just made up. I do my due diligence regarding research, and any and all information that I spoke about briefly today, you can get this information from my references. Anyone wanted to discuss further, gearingpediatrics.com is my website. You can also make an appointment for a pediatric patient in the states of New York and Georgia. We have a Facebook page, Gearing Pediatrics. If you have any further questions, again, this is meant for everyone, but especially those that have skepticism regarding the immunization. I strongly encourage you to do your part. If you are not in a high-risk group, I still would recommend you get the immunization. You do not know who you will come in contact with. You may have elderly family members. You may have parents or grandparents. Or when you go out into the community, you may be around individuals that are immunocompromised and that are at an increased risk of having significant side effects from COVID-19 illness. So please, 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 again, I welcome you to ask any and all questions. Please contact me. I will be coming to you at least twice a week with various discussions about topics in pediatrics and discussions of medicine, hot topics in medicine in general. Again, I hope you enjoyed this brief informational session on COVID-19, and I look forward to speaking with you guys again in the future. Please be well.